in an election for the presidential race will be determined. A candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there being more than 2 candidates for the election. Hey, the first instance is that he has the highest number of votes cast at the election, and the B part says he has not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That is where the controversy came. What is your own interpretation?
You know, Sean, you want me to expose our briefs here now, but I'll give you a small expo because here I will not start arguing our case. But let me give you one small expo. Do you know what we call expo, you know, when we're in school? Now, there's what you call the spirit and the letters of the Constitution, or the letters and the spirit of the Constitution. There's also what you call the community reading of the provisions of any law. What has been long established in our laws is that the Constitution and its provisions must not be read in isolation. These are very elementary principles that all lawyers know, and I'm sure you know that too. Before we came already, you said I should not refer to you as a law student, but I must refer to you now. You must have heard that in your law class. Because there's a community reading.
It's not very still. You use that, but I mean, it's your intimidation tactic. But you know, it doesn't move me a bit.
You are growing now. You are growing.
It doesn't move me.
You're not intimidated again.
You know, I've seen you as a young lawyer, and how intimidated you were.
No.
But thank God that you are bolder than you were before. But please go ahead.
All right, now, so those are the 2 things I've told as a guide to looking at section 134. 1, there must be community reading. And there's what they call the spirit and letters of the Constitution. First question to you. The Constitution says everybody in Nigeria is equal for the law. There's equal rights before the law in Nigeria. That you cannot dispute. It's a standard, clear, settled provision of the Constitution. Equality before the law. Secondly, if you say there's equality before the law, and you now say certain voters existing somewhere should now hold what they call the golden card to override all other states in the federation, does that meet the spirit of the Constitution to make everybody equal before the law? You are now making people residents in Abuja higher citizens over and above other citizens of Nigeria. That is what their own warped interpretation is taking us to. That there's a special set of voters in Nigeria. Unless you woo them to that point of 25, you cannot be president of Nigeria. Even if you get up to 36 states, and you clear all, but Abuja will deprive you from becoming president of Nigeria. Is that kind of interpretation, does it accord with the spirit of the Constitution? That is one. I'm not going deeply into the arguments. I'm only giving you peripheral arguments.
But there are
Secondly, I'm going to tell you.
Again,
I'm going to come here. Yeah. Read section 134. In conjunction, like I said, Constitution must be read as a community, document. Read it in conjunction with 299.
All right. Let's put up 299.
Section 299. Put up 299, which they have been hiding from Nigerians. Read them.
So that's what 299. The provision of this Constitution shall apply to the Federal Capital, Abuja, as it were one of the states of the Federation.
That's all.
And accordingly,
as
if it were. So it means that, does it mean that the Constitution sees FCT as the 37th state?
Exactly. All you just need to do when you read these 2 is that section 134, for the purpose of this, for the purpose of that section, it is an inclusive provision. A provision that tries to include Abuja amongst one of the states. In fact, to understand 134 better, just remove the sentence "and the FCT Abuja." People would have been asking, if you cut 25% in 2/3 of the states of the federation and you keep quiet, people would have been asking, 2/3 of the states and Abuja. Say, what about Abuja? What about Abuja? So what that last phrase means is just to confirm to people that you calculate Abuja along with it too. That's what it means. Simple. So, in practical terms, let me bring it down and break it down for Nigerians to understand. In practical terms, it means that if I need to get 25% in 24 states, and I now get 25%, I get 25% in 23 states. And the FCT, what it simply means is that FCT will be calculated as a state so that you have met the requirement. Am I clear? That's in practical terms. That is what it means. I'm trying to calculate, bring it to practical terms for people to understand. That if Asiwaju or Atiku had gotten 23 states, 25%, and they say, oh, you cannot be president. Or they say, no, well, he got 25% in FCT too. They say, oh, yes, it's included. It should be treated as a state too. So what it means is not to elevate Abuja and to treat it separately and elevate it to a status higher than the state. In fact, their interpretation they are bringing to Section 134 is an interpretation that even negates the spirit and letters of that particular section that even tries to include Abuja among the states to be calculated. Now, the corollary to this is Washington, D.C. Go and look at the constitutional development of America. Washington, D.C., is not one of the federating states of America. It's a federal capital territory.
Of course.
And so before...
And fighting for statehood.
Exactly. Before 1961, the voters in America were not allowed to choose electors, which is the electoral college that determines America's president now. But in 1961, I think it was by the 23rd Amendment of 1961, that they now brought, DC in, and they said they can now choose, I think, 3 electors or so to now take part in the electoral college. So that is the meaning that they were agitating to be treated as one of the other states. So our constitution, therefore, without waiting for that agitation, they adopted, what Section 134 did, was to adopt the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution. That's the meaning. We are going to go into it, history when we argue our case in court. It draws its strength from the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution that says, treat DC as a state for the purpose of electors. That is what it draws it from.
So Dati yesterday said, it might be dangerous for your candidate and the president-elect to be sworn in if there is no clarification and settlement on this provision of the Section 134. What other pathway do we have to douse this tension?
There is no tension. The tension is in Baba Dati Ahmed's mind. Tension where? He wants to come to Eagle Square or do what? What is he saying? What is Dati Ahmed saying? That what? That INEC should have gone what? Should have stopped announcement to go to court first?
If the lines if the lines of Mr. Bakoba had raised this issue, your candidate...
It's like Bakoba Supreme Court.
Your candidate did not...
You keep quoting my very respected fellow. Hold on.
But he has raised it before.
Respected fellow. But is this Supreme Court? Did you hear views of other senior advocates too? He's my very good senior brother. But you keep going back to Eluga. What is Oliver Bakoba?
He's one of those who have raised it.
But the other issue, the other lawyers who have said is nothing. What's them too now? Am I not a senior advocate? So what's the meaning of this?
But the question is that, as it is, your candidate...
So the INEC should have waited, should have stopped announcement to go to court.
Calm down, Mr. Kayemo. Your candidate did not make 25% in FCT.
Just like
the PDP candidate.
No. Just like Labour Party don't make 25% in more than 17 states too. In fact, he didn't make 25% in 15 states. And now he wants to now rub shoulders with us that didn't make 25% in what? In FCT and 6 other states. We got 30, we got 30 states, you know that? The two of them, Obi and Atiku, did not even make the 24, and they are claiming they want to be president. Obi was the worst. He got 17, 25% 2017. And even look at the national spread of the votes. So even say who qualified to be president. Listen, by the manner of their campaigns, Obi made 9 states in the south and made 3 in the north central. He didn't even go to the core north. Atiku Abubakar got 9 states in the north and made 3 in the south. It was only Asiwaju that got 6 in the north and 6 in the south. That is the balance that Asiwaju brought to this, to this campaign. Again, it was only Asiwaju that got at least 1 state in each of the, in all the 5 geopolitical zones. It was only in the southeast Asiwaju did not get 1 state, but Asiwaju won at least 1 state in all the 5 geopolitical zones.
Right.
Again, Asiwaju came first in 3 regions and came second in 3 other regions. He never came third anywhere. Obi came first in only 2 regions. Atiku came first in only 1 region. So who had the spread? Who had the acceptability of Nigeria?
Although your